Hi, everyone. Welcome to Always Peaking. My name is Neal, and I'm the co-founder and CEO at Beacons AI. Over the last 6 years at Beacons, we've seen more founders become creators and more creators become founders as they grow their companies and their personal brands. On this show, I want to learn from the people living in the intersection of this Venn diagram of founders and creators. Always Peaking is about navigating this journey, overcoming the low points, and pushing towards the next peak. My guest today is Brett Dashevsky. Brett is the founder of Creator Economy NYC. It's a community that began as a low-key bar meetup a couple years ago that's quickly become the hub for creators and operators in New York. He's also launched a creator economy startup called Siftsy, which is a platform that helps brands analyze comment sections on social media. Brett is basically the president of the New York creator economy world, and our worlds are always overlapping. So I'm really excited to talk to him about his path from media founder to community builder and to tech founder. Brett, it's great to see you today.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a fantastic studio, and very pleased to come down to FiDi. This is a great environment. I'm rarely here, so it feels good.
This is your first time here, and we're moving out in a week.
Yeah, you are moving out in a week. You finally legend, yeah. So I hope you take all the things that are here in this studio with you, even though you might have to rebuild. But it's great.
They were rebuild it for season 2, and then maybe we'll have you back on.
Okay, let's redo it.
Depends on how good of a guest you are.
It's true. It's true. We got to put myself to the test.
Okay, so the way this is going to work is we do the podcast in like 3 segments, kind of like a workout. So we're going to start with a quick warm up, then we'll have the main event, and then we'll have a cool down.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then we'll do the physical part of the workout.
For me, I prefer appetizer, main course, and dessert. But
okay, we can do it that way too. Yeah. So starting with the appetizer, I know you do a lot of things now.
Yeah.
So what is like the first app that you open every morning?
The first app that I open every morning, I would say, is probably text message.
Okay.
And then email.
Okay.
Followed by LinkedIn.
Okay.
Followed by Twitter.
Okay. That all makes sense.
Yeah.
Text message first. Interesting.
Text message first is just like natural. If anyone, because to me, I feel like if I got a text in the middle of the night, it was like an emergency. It's like for some reason I wake up and like the first thing I click, because I feel like if anyone has texted me, if I didn't see a text message from someone going before going to sleep, but then I wake up that there's text messages there, my assumption is like there must be something urgent, or there's just like banter that's going on in like a group chat. And then of course I go to email. And email is like usually hit or miss. Like it could either like kickstart my day or kind of like have me be a drag if it's like a customer or a brand partner or like an investor that's like responding and like with negative stuff. That's where things get risky. And then like LinkedIn, I go just for like a little dopamine hit because, LinkedIn always has notifications for you.
Yeah.
And then Twitter, just to completely destroy my day and see.
I don't really do Twitter anymore.
No?
Yeah. I'm just LinkedIn only now.
I'm quite addicted to Twitter, and it's an easy platform to scroll because like there's dark mode, and it's just like, I am on Twitter to the depths before bed. It's terrible.
I'm usually email first, and I feel like with text, I'm just like, maybe the secret is like just never reply to your text and then train people not to text you.
I guess
I'm way faster over email than text.
Well, I didn't reply to you for the longest time heading up, and then you go one last nudge, and I'm like,
we almost didn't have them to that.
That's true. So we're here. We made it.
It's hard to get, plenty hard to get. Okay, cool. What's something that you're currently spending a lot of time on outside of work or like obsessed with that's not work though?
Whoa, outside of work.
If there is anything outside of work.
Great question.
It can't be your girlfriend either.
It can't be my girlfriend either. Shit. I would say something outside of work that I'm leaning more into. I'm trying to like restart my workout regimen.
Okay.
Because as you know, when you're juggling a lot, especially professionally, and that is a core priority right now, it becomes difficult to stay as much in routine as I'd like, especially as someone who has like ADHD. It's like, oh my God, I get into momentum at the beginning of the week, and then like end of the week, it doesn't stick. So I'm right now like looking into some like places around the city or like near my office, of course, near work, where like there's group workout classes. And I feel like if I'm part of a group workout class and there's something on the calendar, I'll be committed to going, where the element of like going to the gym solo, it's very easy to pass it off.
Yeah.
But I think that this might kind of put me in a better routine.
Yeah.
So that's something that I've been into.
We should work out together. I tell
Yeah,
everyone that, and then I end up not working out at all myself. So
it's like when
maybe it's similar.
okay, it's like when you see someone and it's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, let's get drinks soon."
Yeah.
But you never get drinks ever. "Let's get coffee sometime."
We
Never
should
gets out.
try. We should
We
try.
should try, really.
Yeah.
I gotta come to the Creator Run Club, at some point. It's just tough on the West Side Highway, and I'm on, basically Midtown East. That's something I've been leaning into, and, it's been tough as, juggling 2 businesses,
Mm,
to lean into hobbies.
yeah.
And I find that sometimes having a hobby, it's like overrated and it's okay that you don't have something that you are doing that you're passionate about outside of work, where it's like, well, right now I am very passionate about the work that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I devote so much time and effort to those things that like I don't want to devote time and effort to something else right now. Besides kind of, like non-negotiables, be it relationships, be it family, be it friends, which, also becomes a struggle, as I'm sure you know, where you're so obsessed and leaned into what you're building. And so when I get asked that question, like, what are your hobbies? I'm always like, right now I do very general stuff. I'll read when I can, I'll exercise as much as I can. I was like joining a pickup basketball league I went to, and I want to go to that more consistently. So that question sometimes is difficult, but I do think exercise has been one thing to lean into, and it feels so boring.
Yeah.
But just like really, what do I have time for externally? It's that. Um, and yeah, I mean, love design, so I do love to like browse the internet and like browse for inspo and design. We just got an office for Creator Economy NYC and Siftsy, so like I spent a lot of time like in my mind designing what it could look like. And so I was playing a lot around with like Google, AI Studio, and I was using
Yeah.
Nano Banana to like design an office. And like
That's really
I spent my free time doing that. I was flying back, I think it was from SF. I was just at Make with Notion, and I spent the whole flight playing around with Nano Banana. And so some people be like, "What movies did you watch?" I'm like, I literally hopped on the Delta Wi-Fi and I was just playing around with like Nano Banana, and like I would that's like what I wanted to do. I was having fun with it. So like my interest outside of work, they like it ebbs and flows, especially kind of with my ADHD brain, where it's like this week I like this, that next week I like that.
Yeah. No, that makes sense to me. What kind of desks are you guys getting for your office? We were just talking about getting
Desks.
maybe standing desks once we move.
So we're in WeWork, so they have pretty standard desks.
Oh,
And when I was working from home, I had like a very nice standing desk that like you press a button, like comes up and down. I am finding that like, holy shit, I am sitting for a while when if I don't have a standing desk, and like my legs started to hurt like I was sitting on an airplane. And like I had to do some squats to like get blood flow in my legs. So what I want to do is get one of those adapters that goes on top of your desk that you can raise.
oh yeah.
My only thing is like they're just like kind of clunky and ugly, and like I need like
Like,
simplicity. Like, I don't want like this like industrial like spring thing. So I'm figuring it out, but the desks are very low in the WeWork. So if we did have a fresh environment like this, then I would probably get a proper desk, like a standing desk.
we have standing desks in our SF office. My problem with those is like I realize that I can't actually think very well and stand at the same time. Or I don't know if that's like something I need to get over, but I end up just sitting on.
If I'm on a call, standing is great. But if I'm doing like
Yeah.
deep work or something and typing, like I'll sit down. But like it's nice to just like stand up every once in a while. And like usually I'll stand for 10 minutes, then sit back down. And that's like all you need.
That's true. Actually, I can also do calls standing. Because
Yeah.
I remember when I was fundraising, I was like standing.
You just gotta stand.
Calls, yeah.
I cannot walk on like a walking treadmill though. I got a walking treadmill one time and I'm like, this thing freaking sucks. Like, what are you doing? And also like I don't like I was hopped on a call one time doing it, and I'm like bopping up and down on the call, and I'm like, I know the person on the other end hates this because I've been on calls where someone's like walking on a treadmill and I'm like, you're insufferable. You're insufferable.
Some people swear by that though. Like I know like
The insufferables.
yeah, yeah, okay.
So
You heard it here first.
but another thing I was like, sometimes I've been on a call where like, someone's like on a treadmill and they're like out of breath talking. I go, just stop for 1 second. I don't want to hear, like, so yeah. But anyway, I do love standing desks. I think they're fantastic.
Okay, but no treadmills.
No treadmills, no
All right.
treadmills.
Last question before we get into the main stuff. At work, what has been taking up most of your time recently?
Great question.
Or like brain space.
Brain space. So as of late, I have two businesses, Creator Economy NYC and Siftsy. Creator Economy NYC, more community and events focused, and then Siftsy, of course, traditional B2B software.
Mhm.
So with Creator Economy NYC, main thing right now has just been like hiring. So I recently hired a content strategist who's been fantastic, and Just the element of kind of building the relationship with them and ramping up has taken up like so much more mind space than I thought.
Yeah.
Not because like they're not making moves, but just because someone needs to kind of set the vision and the resources that are needed. And I'm realizing, okay, there's still some more pieces I need to put together so that this person can like execute to the fullest ability, and then I can back off. That's been taking up a lot of mind space. And then also just building systems and other support to kind of push the year forward. Because more and more, I want to move mainly into like a more president role of Creator Economy NYC, where like I don't want to like oversee so much of the day-to-day operations and stuff. Like I want to be, like doing programming at the events. I want to really just that, and just like be the curator for the community while I have other folks that are maybe like on camera on our socials and are helping to plan the events. And so that's just been taking up a lot of mind space because I need to free up as much day-to-day time as I can for Siftsy.
Okay. Wait, so right now, are you founder and CEO of both companies?
Essentially, yeah. So
Okay.
Siftsy, it's me and my co-founder Leon. He's our
Yeah.
technical side.
Yeah.
But when we think the future, I will probably be in the CEO role as the face of the company, and Leon, is our CTO and our tech side.
Makes sense.
Creator Economy NYC, I don't consider myself CEO because, like, it's just me, really.
Yeah.
But what I do see as we build a team is that I want to move more into a president role, and maybe I can genuinely hire an operator to take on. And so the worst analogy in comparison that I can think of is like Dave Portnoy with Barstool. That's my vision for me with Creator Economy NYC, where I've built it to the point where like it has enough momentum and legs that like someone I think could take it further.
Yeah.
And this is primarily because I'm building Siftsy.
Yeah.
And we're just closing a fundraise, and that now you got, investors involved. Well, you have a full-fledged fiduciary duty to be building this company and executing on what you essentially promised their vision of.
That's what your prospective investors want to hear. You're going to be very focused on the company.
Exactly, but it's true. Now, that's not to say though that like I'm fully departing my mindset from Creator Economy NYC, because Creator Economy NYC is so important to Siftsy because it is the distribution and brand element for the company. Meaning that like some of our earliest customers have come through me talking about Siftsy through our events.
Yeah.
We are hosting dinners with Creator Economy NYC and Siftsy, almost like Siftsy is a sponsor like Sprout Social.
Yeah.
Getting marketers and our core customers through the community. No different than Beacons partnering with Creator Economy NYC, which we need to do more of. But that being said, they're very synergistic. So it's not like I'm fully stepping away. It's just like my day-to-day needs to be focused on Siftsy. And with that, what's taking my time up there is mainly like sales and building kind of like ops so that we can, reach our goals in terms of team size. And I need as much time on my day-to-day as possible to be focused on that.
Yeah.
While I do believe like certain things with Creator Economy NYC do not need my involvement. And this is the classic delegation learning where it's like, do I need to be the face on every video on our feed? No, because this isn't the Brett Dashevsky show. It's Creator Economy NYC. The whole thing is that it's community focused.
Yeah.
People know that I'm the president of it, or the leader of it, and I'll be on camera when it makes sense at the events and stuff. But I can have Dominique, who I just hired, be on camera. I can have Neal talk about something on camera and be on the Creator Economy NYC Instagram. So I don't need to have my foot there. The events don't need me personally to be organizing. I already know how they should flow. I already know the vision of what needs to be done. Now it's time to hire a team that can execute on like, hey, we have this event coming up with Beacons. This is what the format and flow is. Execute on it and tie in your own event expertise.
Yeah. And you can be like Dave at Barstool and just go around and eat pizza and review.
Exactly. Now that's like genuinely like what my dream is that like I've built this amazing brand that is trustworthy and inclusive most of all, and not like Barstool. And I am a person that is a curator and bringing in the best possible people to help the community learn, and also just to showcase the diverse voices and faces of the community, because again it's NYC focused, and like NYC is a diverse environment. And so one thing Dominique and I talk about is like we want our feed to feel like we want everyone who comes to our feed to see themselves in one way or another in our footage. And I feel like if I'm like doing talking head content there, like it's just like, is this Brett's thing or is this like the community thing? And that's where I feel like I don't need to be spending time on that. I can hire out and just kind of set the vision for it, execute, where my focus needs to be more on high level stuff right now.
It's really interesting. Can you explain the president role a little bit? Because I think it's relevant to both. Because founders, I think over time, like your role just shifts, and then you kind of have to decide like what you want your life and your role to look like at your company. And
Yeah.
you're kind of in this interesting position where you have two complementary companies. So you're not leaving the company. You're kind of like shifting more focus
Yep.
towards one of them. And for I think a lot of creators as they scale, they're also trying to think about how to like pull
Yep.
themselves out of the day to day a little bit. So
Yep.
yeah, what was my original question? What is the role of president?
Yeah.
And like, do you have any advice for other people thinking through these things?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Of course, spot on with kind of what we just discussed. Again, I'm in a very unique situation where it's like champagne problems that I have two organizations that it's not like you got to pick one or the other. It's like, look, I'm in the position where both of them are doing well and have great potential and they synergize with each other. I can't just as simply just pick one.
Yeah.
So the best possible scenario is which one of them can I delegate a lot towards? Obviously, there's a lot to delegate towards Siftsy, but like building software, we're in like those early startup phases of building software where like you kind of got to be like putting in a lot of sweat and energy.
Yeah.
Where Creator Economy NYC, like I already spent 3 years doing that. Where I'm now at the point where there's enough revenue and stuff where I can hire an operator who gets it. And so my idea of the president role is that like I need to be involved in certain day-to-day things. When we have an event coming up, like do I need to be the one that's communicating with the venue and finding the vendors and all that stuff? No, I could hire someone to handle events.
Yeah.
When it comes to content, do I need to be the one that's posting on the story still and all that stuff? No, I can hire a content strategist and social media manager. When it comes to general operations, like, hey, look, we want to lean more into education. We want to do merch. We want to do this and that. Do I need to be the one executing on that? Perhaps the vision and just setting the tone, but like, could I hire like an operator, a contractor, an operator, like a COO to handle things? Yes. Do I have the revenue right now to pay for a full-time CEO, COO? No, but I probably could contract someone who can like set up our operations a bit so things can run more smoothly. But like, for example, like right now I'm still kind of handling event stuff. And it's like, if we're going to go far and I want both my businesses to go far, I need to delegate. And at my conference we hosted with Teachable back in May called Connect, one of the panels I moderated was about like building out a team. And it was so enlightening to me. And it was only after that very panel that I then started to like draft, whoa, where can I delegate? And I think the big thing with delegating, and you want to call it this president role, right? Where you kind of move out of certain operations, you're still always in it, right? Like this isn't like a massive organization. Um, it comes down to like what do you truly want to work on? And also like what things can you take your hand out of and it will still thrive? And if not, go further without you. And to me, that's like, I don't want to be in the day-to-day of the events. I love setting the tone and my vision for the event. I want someone else can execute it on for better. Someone else knows certain things to order that would be good because they have event experience. Like I've put on great events for the experience I have. I know what makes a great event, but now I need someone who can maybe execute and be the owner of it fully. Where when I show up to the event, I'm not, the maitre d' there. Like there is someone else who is the manager of the event, and I'm there to shake hands, welcome everybody, be the community leader, and also like be on stage and lead programming and be available to people. Where like the logistics of the event, I can pass off. That's where I kind of see that element of delegation. If you're a creator and you love creating, you love being on camera, and you hate editing, well, what's the one thing you could probably delegate that can probably go further without you? Delegating the editing. And so that's really how I think about things is you have to kind of write out what do you like currently doing? What don't you like currently doing? Map out which things that you don't like currently doing can be delegated and like what are you willing to start with? And so that's how I've been thinking about it. And so for me, those things have come down to events and content.
Yeah.
As those have been two important things that we need to keep leaning into with Creator Economy NYC. And then finally, brand partnerships. I have loved selling Creator Economy NYC. I've done a great job doing it. We've partnered with amazing brands like Visa, Pinterest, Teachable, Notion. It brought in, 6 figures in terms of brand partnerships. Now I'm to the point where I'm thinking about that delegation because Siftsy requires my attention. And I'm like, I love doing brand partnerships, but could it go further without me? Yes. Who can I pass that off to someone? And so I've been talking to my personal management agent company, Wishly. They represent me on for like LinkedIn stuff. Hey guys, like you know me, you know the community. Would you be down? Like I'm giving you the opportunity to start selling our events, our dinners, whatever it is. Here's all the information you need to do. Execute on it. I'm happy to give that 20% share. So those are things. That's kind of how I think about it. Is like, where do I want to devote my time? Where don't I? And then like kind of passing that off.
Yeah. No, I think that's a very clear breakdown. I think probably easier said than done.
Exactly. It is easier said than done because, like I said, what's been on your mind lately for that business? The hiring element. It's like
Been doing this, thinking about this for months now.
exactly, and then it's like, oh my god, I want an editor, and I'm like, should I post on our story for an editor? Well, I know I'll be inundated with applications probably because I posted on my story yesterday or the other day about I needing an event photographer, and oh my god, the DMs were like insane. I think we gained like 100 followers of people reaching out wanting to be a photographer, and I'm like, I wish people sent their rates, and I wish people sent their portfolios. But like now, imagine if that was like a true application. Like I was going through all that. Like that's a lot of time, and so I think like the 0 to 1 part is the hardest element of getting anything started and hiring with as a creator. Where it's like, look, you're gonna have to put in a little legwork to hire, but then once you have the systems in place, once this person is ready to go, run with it. And for me, a big thing is like I'm not hiring people to train. I'm hiring people who can already own the thing. And that's something that you might need to grapple with. Do I want to hire an editor who I'm going to have to teach, or do I want to hire an editor who's going to own this? The person that wants to own it is probably going to be a bit of a premium, but again, I think you'll go a lot further.
Makes sense. Okay, I want to go back a little bit. I think we kind of encountered each other after you started Creator Economy NYC.
Yep.
Right. But because that's when I think our world started to overlap a lot. But how did you even get the idea to begin with? Like, did it come out of the media company that you were doing before?
Yeah, so my entrance into this industry was by way of newsletters.
Yeah.
So when I graduated college, or my senior year, I started this newsletter with my brother called Healthcare Huddle. And Healthcare Huddle was essentially like the morning brew for healthcare.
Okay. I didn't know it was with your brother.
It was with my brother, yeah, who still to this day is writing the newsletter, and he basically it's become his Creator Economy NYC, right? Let's do the best comparison. And so we started that, and it started to really gain traction because also like COVID, it was unfortunately unfolding, and there was just a demand for simplified healthcare industry news, and that was our bread and butter. Now I wasn't writing the newsletter, but like I was branding, and I was doing branding, marketing, and like operations, and it was like a really fun way to kind of learn building something from scratch. And I've always been a very entrepreneurial person. But I was working at Capital One, and like, it wasn't, I didn't know anything about like, should we fundraise for this? I was just like, we're just doing this media company thing. My brother was a great operator and partner. We complemented each other.
Older or younger?
Older.
How much?
He's 3 years older than me.
Okay.
So
I have a younger brother who's 1.5 years younger than me.
Oh, nice.
He has a startup too, and we've always talked about working together, but
never
had the chance yet.
But no, we complement each other really well. My brother is very systems and engineering focused, and obviously he's in med school. He's a doctor now, and I was very like branding and branding and marketing heavy. And branding's always been my strong suit, which I think has also helped like our brands. Like they look legitimate. It's like, oh, like some people are like, is Siftsy? Like how long have you guys been around? Like it looks legit. Creator Economy NYC, same thing. Like clean branding. That's always been the goal because I think branding adds a nice layer of touch. Of trust, plus like I like things that look good. But anyway, we were building this, and ultimately, we ended up bringing on an advisor who was the previous president of the Hustle, the newsletter, and he just left the Hustle after it was acquired by HubSpot, and then he had his own idea for a startup that basically was like a collective of like business and knowledge creators called Workweek, and he saw Healthcare Huddle as like this could be like a great vertical. We want to acquire you guys, and so we went through like a long assessment over a couple of months, and we were working with a lot of contractors at Healthcare Huddle that we ultimately had to part ways with, and basically like we restructured that. Like, okay, Jared, my brother, would be like the creator. He would be like the creator, and Healthcare Huddle the brand, and that's what Workweek was building. Was there was a creator attached to like a media brand that was their own, and they were building this collective of industry experts. And so, I took a jump that before even Workweek launched, they just raised, I think, like 2 million pre-seed. And I was like, this sounds amazing opportunity. This is my entrance into the creator space more and more. And Twitter was really big at the time, and they were building this great network of Twitter people like Nick Sharma and Trung Pham. And I was like, I want to be associated with these people. And ultimately ended up joining Workweek to kind of build out other brands. And so I helped Nick Sharma launch his newsletter, and the marketing millennials and all these different brands. And so I was getting a lot of experience of like launching creator-led brands.
And so you joined them as a part of their team, or
as part of their teams, as part of their team. So Healthcare Huddle joined as a brand, but like I basically joined because I wanted to depart from just being Healthcare Huddle focused. I wanted to work on everything.
Okay.
And Jared, my brother, stayed on as a contractor while finishing med school to keep writing, and he had a great gig. And so I was like, this is fantastic because I didn't want to be pigeonholed in being like the healthcare guy. And so ultimately ended up joining and helping launch those brands. And
you guys sold the company. Can you talk about like some of the details? I think people would be with.
Sure, yeah. So the details were pretty.
Are you rich now?
No, God no. Well, I live in New York, so
thanks a lot.
I will be.
You grew up here?
No, I grew up in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
I grew up in New Jersey.
You seem very
New York-y.
What? You're like the king of New York. So that's how I think about it.
Very high praise. I appreciate that. I don't see myself that way, but maybe one day. So yeah, the deal was pretty simple. So I had 3 co-founders of Healthcare Huddle, and basically Workweek offered like $10,000 cash for the IP, and like at the time I think we had like 7,000 subscribers, so it was like sure, and then like we got options in the company, and then also like I was going to be a salaried employee at the company, and of course they had like typical great startup benefits. So it was like, great, let's rip this. And also, you know, we were sold in the vision that Workweek was going to be this billion-dollar company, which it might be one day. I'm not there anymore, obviously. So that was basically the terms of the deal. And then there was a lot of like great like milestone bonuses that I was like, okay, great. So like I'm essentially going to like be paid out nicely if like the sales team at Workweek was like crushing it, and which they did. And I was like doing fine at Workweek. It ended up being like a great jump from Capital One, where like Capital One, I think I was making like 80K like out of college.
Yeah.
And then like ended up making around the same amount, if not more, at Workweek, given like the bonuses on top of it. Plus, just like it was more fun
Doing
working
way
for a
more
startup.
interesting stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was doing more interesting stuff, and I was like building my personal brand
Yeah.
in this space. And while I was there, I obviously had my itching. Like I'm around all these creators. I'm like, I want to start my own thing again. And like being at Workweek, like Workweek wasn't mine. For a while I did treat it like mine, and I was like doing a lot of like go-getter stuff. But eventually, as like the company, you know, started to get more strict, like I felt kind of like it was like, what are you doing? Don't do that. And I'm like,
Wait, how big is Workweek now?
Workweek now probably like 20, 30 employees. It's not, it's like, it's still pretty small, but like they're doing a couple mil in revenue. Like they're doing well. And they turned more into, they went from like newsletter media and software to now like premium business and like professional communities, almost like LinkedIn, but for healthcare, LinkedIn, but for marketing, which they use the newsletters and all their media as like top of funnel to those premium products, which like is almost how I'm building Creator Economy NYC. Right. So like I learned a lot there. I've always been a B2B guy. And so anyway, when I was there, I started getting itching for wanting to start my own businesses again. And I don't know, I was really interested, and there was this guy in the healthcare space. I forget his name, Rohan maybe, and he was like doing these healthcare meetups called Pepper. And I was like, man, I really want to do that, but like for like my own space. And for a while, I was like building a brand talking about the creator economy. And so I was like, when I moved to New York, I was in New York at the time. Like I'm gonna go start like just hosting a happy hour.
Where were you?
I was living in New Jersey. I was at home still. Okay. My girlfriend was here though, my brother. So like I was coming up every now and then. And I was like, when I moved to New York, I think I'm just gonna like say fuck it, create it. That was really where the whole story came from. The fuck it, create it was like, I'm just gonna start hosting these happy hours. And the goal of it was just like build my network in this space. And I felt that like I was going through like my yearly goals, and I was doing the James Clear habits thing. And it was like identity habits. What do you want to be? What do you got to do? And I was like, I'm going to be a connector. How am I going to be a connector? By hosting like one happy hour a month. And I was toying with this like branding idea, because again, I love branding, of like Creator Economy Meetup NYC was the name of it. And I remember that name originally came from Twitter launched this communities feature. So I was like, I'm going to create a group of people in New York that are in the creator economy. And I called it Creator Economy, like NYC or something like that. And anyway, so I ended up running with that name when I hosted the first happy hour at Hair of the Dog in the Lower East Side. And I put out a signal to a handful of people. And I think we had like 15, 20 heads show up, many whom still come to the event today. Like I think Shervin Shares was there. Ami from Bercy was there.
Oh yeah.
There was who else was there? There's the JT, this guy JT Sprague, like he's been coming to my events for a while. So there was like still people that came to that event that come to my other events or events today, and they've seen the thing grow. And that's what's been so remarkable about community, and why I think like community leader creators are so special, not to like to my own horn, but like because you grow something that people like see very like they tangibly feel from the ground up. The venue changes, the size changes. I mean, even you coming to some of my events previously to now, like there's a change. Caitlin, you know, I met Caitlin at my third event.
It was that early?
It was that
I
early.
didn't know that.
And she, you know, she came up to me. I think she was at the Visa event or something that we hosted, or the Notion event, and she like genuinely was like, I like am like, she was like, I am just so proud. Like this feels so amazing.
Yeah.
And it was like palpable how she felt. And I like, she was being genuine. She came up, she waited in line to speak to me after the panel, and was like that first event that I came to, like it was in this Brooklyn venue that like we had to take our shoes off, and like now here we are, and it's like this is a real thing.
Yeah. That might have been the first Creator Economy event that Caitlin had ever been to in New York.
Probably, yeah, exactly. I think it was I think, I was the first event for pretty much most people because there weren't a lot of creator events ever happening, right? Like, and I didn't start it because I felt like there was like a market for this. I started because I just wanted to meet cool people.
Oh, you weren't that smart?
Wasn't that smart. I'm not that smart. This goes back to, the Steve Jobs quote where it's like you can only connect the dots looking backwards, and that's where everything kind of comes together. But anyway, so I started to host one event a month while I was at Workweek, and I maintained like a pretty low key vibe about it because I felt like it was competitive, or like I didn't want to come off competitive to Workweek, that like I was creating another creator brand. So I didn't launch a newsletter, and in fact, I was communicating with everyone through BCC. I would BCC their emails and say, "Thank you so much for coming. I'm thinking about the next event, blah blah blah." And I was being scrappy with it. Like I was like putting my own money into it. I was finding sponsors where we could. Like if a venue or an office wanted to host us, like great. So Brendan Gahan, if you're familiar with him,
Yeah.
he was at Mechanism at the time. He's like, we can host an event in our place. I'm like, great. And he's like, well, we'll pay for the food and stuff. So I'm like, great, let's run with this.
Didn't you guys stay together at Cannes this year?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So
he's great friends.
he's been a great friend, and he's been there from the early days as well. So anyway, I kept with doing this one a month, and then building my network, building just like meeting a ton of people, and the event started to gain traction. And then like the first event where I got feedback, someone was like, "You should do like a coffee chat, right? No, like don't like the happy hours are great, but like it'd be cool to like if you curate something." So that's where I ended up getting in touch with Tim Chiazzano, a big New York City creator who I met at my third event, and I got his phone number. And I ended up texting him, and he was like, yes, yes, yes. And at this point, he like just hit 1 million followers on Twitter or TikTok. And I'm like, damn, this is like, to me, like a pretty big creator who's been crushing it. And what a perfect time to interview him. And that really was the big spark for Creator Economy NYC, and an inflection point where our events started to involve programming. And now that's like our bread and butter is mixer and panel. That's what we call them. And anyway, I ended up getting laid off from Workweek in November of 2024. And at this point, I was kind of like itching. I'm like, oh, like Creator Economy NYC, I want to do more of. I felt personal pressure because I'm like, damn, I feel like I can't fumble.
Wait, 2024, like less than a year ago?
Sorry, 2023.
Okay,
Sorry,
okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
2023, for the record, it was 2023. And I felt like I have this great thing with Creator Economy NYC. I don't want to fumble it. I want to build momentum with it. There were other people popping up events and stuff, and I'm like, I got to be the best at doing this. I got to push forward. And anyway, I ended up getting laid off, and it was like, fuck yeah. It was like, let's go time, time, fuck it, create it. And so I remember after that, I, was like, okay, great. I've been thinking about launching my newsletter. I was going to do it in January. I'm going to do it now. So I launched Creator Economy NYC newsletter, which I knew would be like one of the strongest things of what we're building because I come from the newsletter world.
Yeah.
And I made another goal with that, one newsletter a week. So I made a chart with 52 circles, and I ended up sending one newsletter a week throughout 2024. And today we're sending our 95th newsletter in a row. I say we, it's just been me writing the newsletter.
Right.
95 newsletters in a row, 95 weeks in a row, and we are about at 11,000 subscribers, all organically. Like 54% open rates, really strong open rate. And I just talk about the journey of being a creator. And
How do you grow it? How do you grow that list?
mainly grow the newsletter through the events.
Okay.
Have been a really strong top of funnel, and then also through Beehive has an amazing referral network.
Okay.
And so I have like Jack Appleby and Brandon Smithrick. Like when people sign up for their newsletters, Creator Economy NYC's newsletter is recommended, and then they click subscribe. And so that has brought in 3,000 plus subscribers for me. So and I brought in subscribers for them as well. That's how I'm growing it. So anyway, I ended up, leaving Workweek, and I met at one of my events the chief strategy officer at Kickstarter. And he was talking to me about how Kickstarter wants to lean more into content creators and influencers.
Yeah.
And he was like, it would be interesting to have you help take lead here. Like you have this amazing community, you're tapped in. And, of course I had some imposter syndrome. I'm like, what do you mean I'm tapped in? Like, who are you talking to me? I barely know these people. I mean, I barely know this industry. But you never know how externally people view you. So anyway, I texted him after I got laid off, and I was just like, hey, I'm in the midst of looking for my next move. Let's chat. So we pushed conversations, and ultimately, I met with people at Kickstarter. I met with the CEO, Everett Levy, Everett Taylor.
We'll edit that part.
Yeah, Everett Taylor.
Everett Taylor.
And anyway, 5 months later, from November, I started the job in March as head of content creators at Kickstarter.
Oh, so you were full-time at Kickstarter?
I was a contractor. I was a
Okay.
full-time contractor. And the beauty of being a contractor was I was still able to work on building Creator Economy NYC and Siftsy. And in May of 2024, so anyway, kicked the year off in 2024 with an event with Notion, and then we did another scrappy event, and then we hosted an event at South by Southwest with Teachable, and and then we did an event with Whaler, and then like Beacons, we did something at VidCon, and then things just started to pick up, and then like September of 2024 was like another big inflection point where like I started to figure out the brand partnership side of things. I signed like a long-term quarterly thing with Teachable, I think for like 15K. I did the same thing maybe with like Beehive, and I'm like, damn, like there's something here. And Siftsy, for example, we got our first customer in May, and then like come the end of 2024, this is why I say like the great lock-in season is September to December. It's where like things start to all pick up and make sense. That whole part started to all like come together, and like Kickstarter was doing fine. It was great. It was a great reputation builder for me. I met a lot of amazing people in the industry. I learned a lot. I just didn't have the support I needed there to really thrive. And frankly, like my other businesses were just demanding more and more of my attention. And goes back to this element of like, it's time to lock in. Like I don't want to fumble the momentum we have here. And a big kind of like signal was in December and January of this past year, Lyft signed an enterprise contract for Siftsy. And it was like Lyft, the billion-dollar ride sharing company, is a customer. And then Teachable and I signed a year-long deal for Creator Economy NYC, I think for around like $90,000. And I was like, okay, like I'm to the point where like if I lean into both my businesses full time, things should start to work, and I should be in a financially comfortable position. And that's a big important thing for creators is like you shouldn't dive into creating full time until you have a solid financial machine going to an extent. So I set a goal that when my Kickstarter contract is up in March of 2025, I want to be in the position where I have enough financial engines moving with both businesses that like, if I devote more time here, I should be in the position where the brands keep growing and the revenue, coincides and starts growing as well. And that was the case. And so I had a conversation with Kickstarter in February, and I was like, look, I'm thinking about next steps, and I don't think that I can commit what I would like to this role. My businesses are picking up, and they were of course so encouraging. They're like, we love it. And I think one of the funniest things was I ended up doing an event with Notion, like April, the month after I left Kickstarter, and it was the biggest event deal we did. It was $25,000 with Notion, and that was like, whoa, like let's keep rocking. And then we signed more customers with Kickstarter. I mean, with Siftsy, we signed Taco Bell. Wasserman is a big customer, and I'm like, man, like the machine's going. And so now I'm like, to the point where I'm thinking about these like next steps with delegating and hiring. And I'm almost like, I feel behind in terms of like where we are with the businesses, but that's just like me being like mentally hard on myself because I'm an ambitious person. And it's like, dude, you've only been full time mentally on your businesses for like 4 or 5 months, right? Like April, May, June, July, August, September. It's been like 6 months.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I need to like come back to earth where I'm like, I know I've been building these things for the past few years, but like full time mentally not that long. And that's a big thing also for creators and founders. Like there is the identity of being full-time on your thing that you can't underestimate. And like there is a mindset shift when now like your day-to-day, the only things you're thinking about are those businesses. You're not thinking about Kickstarter or Workweek. You're thinking about this. That's the only thing you are responsible for professionally. Get after it. And that's a huge element for me. And Shervin, I interviewed him for one of my newsletters, and he basically talked about how he had similar signals. Like affiliate revenue was doing well for him on YouTube, and he's like, if I just go all in on this, like I think I can rip it. And he talked about like burning the boats.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to burn the boats. Like enough of this, like, oh well, Kickstarter thing, I could do both. No. You want to go far? Burn the boats. Now it's time to do it. Get the fuck after it. Fuck it, create it. And that's what we've been doing. And that's why I'm here and I have things to talk about.
Hashtag burn the boats.
Burn the
I
boats.
think I said something like that in All Hands a couple weeks ago, right?
Gotta burn the boats. You just gotta go all in.
Yeah. That's what it takes to make things work. So,
It really does. And again, I don't say to do it in like a rash way, like a rash decision, but like if there are signals, And I knew that, look, I'm making revenue. Like, it's not like I'm leaving to go start a bake shop.
Yeah.
Like, these things were working, and I knew if I just devoted more time to it, it could work. And, everyone was very supportive. The only people I had to kind of like, my parents were supportive too. They just like didn't get it fully. They're like, "What do you mean? Like, you're making money here?" I'm like, "Yeah, trust me. Let me cook. Like, I got it."
Yeah.
The only negative was like no healthcare. Even when I was like Kickstarter, I had no healthcare because I was a contractor. Now I'm on my
Well,
girlfriend.
Siftsy will have that soon.
One day,
Yeah.
one day. That very, very. I have a lot of ambitions for. I would love one day for both the businesses to be able to have full time, ability
You will.
for
Just a
this.
matter of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with starting a bake shop either. Our last guest on the podcast was Allison Chen, who
Oh,
just
she's
owned bake
great.
shop.
I just use that example because, like, when you grow up hearing about entrepreneurship, it's like, blah, 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 quit their job and started, like, a pizza shop, bake shop. And it's like, that's like brick and mortar entrepreneurship, which can be a lot tougher and there's like high investment cost there. But I'm like, man, what I'm doing is like there's low investment. Pretty much everything is more or less margin. Like, the events obviously can be expensive, but like, if I'm bringing in brand deals or we're bringing in customer to Siftsy, like, margins are solid.
Mhm.
Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps me up at night is rinse and repeat. I gotta, why don't we have another customer,
Yeah, I know that feeling. Um, creator economy in New York has changed a lot, right, over the last
Mhm.
3 years. I think people still have this idea that LA is kind of like the center of the creator world. We decided to open our second office in
Yep.
New York instead of LA.
Yep.
Um,
Great move.
and it feels like there's maybe like more creators here
Yep.
in some verticals than in LA. So like, yeah, what's your like perspective on that?
Yeah. I think that, LA will always be this entertainment and media capital.
Yeah.
And the unique thing is that, when you think back to media, when it was getting started, the ABCs, NBCs of the world, and Paramounts, whatever, I was reading Barry Diller's memoir, and this is what we talked about is that, like, the studios themselves, where all the filming and everything took place was in LA,
Yeah.
but the HQs and all the business was done here in New York City. And I find that what makes New York unique is that unique New York. Uh, anyway, is that you have the creativity, right? It's always been a very cultural and art scene. You have the business, of course, and the capital, and then you have like the technology. And you have such an amazing mix of the three that have come here that has made it really ripe for the creator economy. Where LA is still strong, right? It's not to say it's weak. They almost could be equals to an extent. But I think what makes New York unique here is that you kind of have these other elements of the business, the capital, the tech. And with that, you get these different types of creators
Yeah.
because New York is just ripe for creating. Like, your backdrop is New York.
Yeah.
Your niche can be that you are XYZ person in New York City. That is like, people care about that. The LA thing is like, LA is is sprawling, right? So it's a little bit tougher, but like, you could be like, finance. I'm a like private equity person in New York City. Day in the life of a tech person in New York City. Like, people like watch that stuff. And it's funny, my newsletter today, number 95, I'm writing about the 10 buckets of creators that I like kind of think that I've put people in from meeting them.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got educators, you got entertainers, you have community builders, you have advocates, you have what else did I have in there? You have like the mass creators. And I think a lot of them are situated here in New York just because New York is like a worldwide hub. It's a heart of the world. Everything passes through here.
Yeah.
And as the creator economy becomes more and more like the center place for marketing, for entrepreneurship, for business, the platforms are all around the creator economy and social media. Like, this is where it's happening.
Mhm.
What an amazing place for it to be. And that to me has been so important and impactful in what I've seen. And like, people come to New York all the time. So like, people have said to me, "Oh, is you're obviously the next natural thing is for you to do Creator Economy LA, right? Creator Economy Austin, Texas." And I'm like, "Yes, but I'm not rushing to do that. In fact, I'd rather just the people in LA are intrigued to come to New York
Yeah.
to come to an event.
Yeah.
Like, I want the lure of it to be we're NYC. And NYC itself holds a brand. So it's not like we're Creator Economy, Cherry Hill, where I grew up. NYC holds weight.
Yeah.
And I always say, like, we are rooted in NYC, but we're built for global impact. And that anyone can consume our stuff and feel and learn from it and get entertained from it and feel inspired by it. You don't need to be in New York. It's just New York adds to that element of it. And so I'd rather host a Creator Economy NYC event in LA. Like Creator Economy NYC is coming to LA. And so my whole thing is like, I think I just want to keep Creator Economy NYC as like, it's like New York Times. It's just the brand,
Yeah.
happens to just have NYC in the name. But what we're building is the hub and the go-to place for the creator economy. I want this to be that. I want it to be we want to have the best events, the best network, the best resources, and you just, feel inspired and seen by everything that we're doing. That's the goal of what we're building. No other motive.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I don't think you should do Creator Economy any other city.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, like, I don't get excited by that. When I think, again, like the delegating, what you think about,
Yeah.
I don't get excited about waking up and doing Creator Economy LA. Like, I don't want to run and travel out there. And I've had people reach out to me. I'm speaking to someone on Monday who reached out about doing Creator Economy. Like, they want to do a Chicago thing. I'm like, I'll talk to you about what we did, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not interested in the franchising thing right now. Maybe, I'll go, pending God willing, with Siftsy, things go well and Creator Economy NYC becomes my 100% focus. Maybe I expand things, but right now I'd rather go on a road show with Creator Economy NYC.
Okay, I thought what you said about like the different elements that exist in New York was really interesting. You kind of talked about it for creators, but for founders, like, how do you think people should take advantage of like these unique points of being in New York?
Well, I think one amazing thing with New York, again, is that, but also just like the fact that New York is so like you can do anything anywhere and travel anything anywhere. There's so many events that are going on, and so the sheer amount of spontaneity that happens in the city is like unbelievable. And like I'll go to events and like we see each other, like great, and then like get on my podcast, like business gets done here. Because you're seeing people. And I know for a lot, everyone's like, New York can be very distracting. It can be, but you need to have a bit of self-discipline. And so when you first move here, I would say, look, it's going to take you a couple months to get into the groove of like feeling locked in and all that. And you're going to want to take advantage of all the dinners and the events that are happening. And you should take advantage of it. And I see on Twitter all the time, the hustle talk where it's like, if you're going to events as a founder, like you're not fucking shipping. It's like, there is value in going and meeting people when you're fundraising, when you're finding customers, and things grow through word of mouth, not by you sitting behind your computer, but by you getting out there. It's not to say you shouldn't have your head down hustling, but like not all sales need to be done through cold message and outreach and splashy Cluely campaigns.
Yeah.
You can go and meet potential customers in real life.
Like, you can learn a lot from
and you can learn a lot from talking to people. So all this talk that founders shouldn't waste time going out to things, I think is hogwash. It's bullshit. Of course, you shouldn't be like going to splashy things and not working on your product. You need to have a filter for what you choose to go to. And for me, like my filter is like, is it a hell yes in terms that it goes back and it benefits my businesses or me personally? Or is it a strategic yes that like in the long run, there could be benefit here? And so when I'm invited to a dinner, like I've said no to plenty of dinners, but it's only because I've gotten good at like understanding my priorities. And so when you move to New York, it is so amazing because you're surrounded by a diverse grouping of people. And like I get so passionate about that because like I think SF is amazing. I was just there and like I felt the energy of like the AI wave and like building Siftsy. I'm like, it's so exciting. Like, wow, it'd be great to move out here. One of my great friends from growing up is moving out there to work for Mercor. And I'm like, dude, it's gonna be fucking amazing. But I do think San Francisco lacks diversity in terms of backgrounds. There's not like, you look at the ads, it's an ad for Clay, it's an ad for Fixer AI, all this bullshit. Great products. But when you come to New York, you have ads for that, but you also have ads for Calvin Klein and ads for iPhone and ads from Victoria's Secret. You're meshing in together all these industries that make the world great. And when you're around that, you feel inspired and you feel passionate and you build better. I do believe you build better. The only reason you might not feel like you build better is because you're like, oh, the talent is all the AI talent is in SF. And you can get more locked in SF and you're around stuff. It's like, there's value to stepping outside your bubble and talking to a marketer about something. I mean, Beacons is building for creators and it's a great place for them to be, but you also have products for marketers and managers. And like, you're not meeting those managers in SF, you're meeting them here. And even if the managers are in LA, there is 100% chance they're going to be in New York within the next couple of weeks, maybe the week after that. And so this being an amazing hub is just why I believe it's such an amazing place to be a founder. And it's so exciting. And you're not alone. There are plenty of startups here, and the venture ecosystem is also really strong.
I feel very validated having just moved here
You
this
should.
year. So
And also, I just think that like your team is more excited being here, and also these sheer accessibility that like you told me let's do this podcast in person. I'm in Midtown. I took the 6 to the 5 down here. It took me 30 minutes. Yeah, 25 minutes maybe. And
That
I'm
makes a
here.
big difference.
Makes a big difference. And I'm gonna go up to my office in Nomad after this. And it's like no problem. I can do it. And just being out in the city and like looking around, like you feel, wow, like this place is bigger than me. And like sometimes like you kind of get like an ego check and a reality check that like, I don't know, like who am I building for? And then like I just think it opens your eyes up more. And I would not be doing what I'm doing if it was not for New York City. Obviously, there was no Creator Economy NYC without New York City. There's no Siftsy without Creator Economy NYC, where I met my co-founder and the idea came from. And so all of that is very important to me. And like, I love branding myself as a New York City founder. I don't want to, I'm not a founder. I'm a New York City founder. I'm a New York City creator. That matters to me, even though I'm from outside of Philadelphia and I root for the Philly teams.
You're not a Knicks
I'm
fan?
not a Knicks fan.
Ah,
I'll cheer on the Knicks though. I'll
okay.
cheer on the Knicks.
It's fun when they're in the playoffs.
It was very fun when they were in the playoffs. I have a Sixers fan. My friends will give me shit. My brother will give me shit for all that. But like, I value New York City, the culture, the history of it, and it's so inspiring.
You kind of touched on this a little bit earlier because you talked about like hiring and building the team, but what if you were to go like really, really big with Creator Economy NYC? Like, what if I know you're raising money for Siftsy, right? I actually don't know if we could say that as SEC requirements, whatever. But let's say someone just wanted to give you like $10 million to scale Creator Economy NYC.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to do like the geographical expansion, but what, I'm sure you do have big ideas for.
So look, if we got that investors, if you're listening, we would 100% lean into the geographical expansion. And basically my mindset would be like complete world domination with serving the next gen element of small businesses. The way I professionally and like from a get grounded level of think about Creator Economy NYC is that we are building a community for next gen small business. Creators are the next generation of small businesses. Syracuse, I just posted about this on LinkedIn, recently launched like an academic center for the creator economy, where it's a program that is shared between the Whitman School of Management and the Newhouse School of Communications, which are two like great schools. Newhouse is also like the best in the country for communications. So you're seeing this element of business and and content being married together, and like it's creating the next generation of careers. And so if there is a hub, in each city where people can go, we want to be that trusted organization that they turn to. And so hosting events, being a core place for education, which I believe will be like our or could be and will be our largest like revenue share. Resources, people want to know how to grow as a creator. They want to know how to, build revenue. They want to know how to increase their workflows. And my whole vision is like, I want to create like, Creator Economy University. And you come to Creator Economy NYC, this is the trusted source. And it's not me teaching, but it's like we're, passing it off to Neal, who's going to be, diving into how to master forming brand partnerships with creators. And like that's a course for managers and brands or something like that. So like we want to serve the whole ecosystem. So I say we serve content creators and the ecosystem around them. And so I would like, that's the big thing. I would scale geographically in select cities, have a core person there who's the Brett of each city. And then basically use all those elements as top of funnels for brand partnerships, for memberships that then funnel into our premium products, be it education, be it premium, maybe it's like we do masterminds and things like that. And so I want to have a really strong premium bottle of funnel. And the only way we get there is by just expanding ourselves from the top of funnel, from our events, newsletter in each city, and then also content. Like I want our content to be spectacular. Great content at events. I want also just like a lot of amazing segments in each city. And so one thing I hired my content strategist to do is like, go out there and do the day in the life with Neal Jean. Like go follow him around as he's building beacons, turn into a 90-second video. Like I think people will be interested in that. It doesn't need to be me on camera. It should be you, it should be you. It should be Colin Rocker. It should be Jack Appleby. It should be Piper Phillips. Like I want to showcase the diverse voices and faces in every city that are building creator economy because each of them have a unique thing to share. That's my broad vision for Creator Economy NYC, is to be like the worldwide premier hub for next gen small business, this internet era of entrepreneurship.
I love that you use the phrase world domination.
World domination.
Yeah, that's going in my Series B deck.
There you go. World domination. Literally that's gonna be our thing. Like Siftsy, we're doing world domination for conversational all the buzzwords.
So what is the strategy for world domination though? Is it like have you mapped out like the most important cities to have, and what's the order?
So the signals for me have come from people who have reached out in particular cities, but like it would be LA, it would be London, I think it would be Chicago, and I think it would be Austin, Texas, and then even perhaps in Asia somewhere, and like Sydney, Australia. Yeah, like I would want to just to tackle all the major S tier cities. Like we should have a hub there, and we're taking our brand that like people already know. New York will always be the HQ, and like the calling, like that's the OG brand, and then these are kind of all like the subsidiaries of it is like Creator Economy SF, Creator Economy Sydney, and like these are your trusted hubs in every city. And if we had $10 million, like I think we even to the point where like we kind of build out like office spaces where you can come and like we serve as a hub for the creator space.
This is kind of related. Like, do you have someone in mind who's kind of like the model of what you're trying to build towards in your career?
Oh, great question.
Either on the creator or the founder side.
I am in somewhat. I consider myself a founder. Period. I'm founder first. A lot of the content that I create is. It's funny in my newsletter. I also talk about the basically like the documenters, which is basically like their content is a byproduct of what they're building as a founder. So I consider myself more of a founder.
Maybe I should try to be that kind of.
Yeah, no, you should. That is, I consider you in that bucket. Like when you're creating content and stuff, you're not a creator, but you're just this type of creator. So when I think about like I admire a lot of CEOs. Like I mean I of course admire Steve Jobs. I admire Brian Chesky. Barry Diller, I was reading his memoir. I think like he's like fantastic in terms of like he wasn't. I mean he became a founder, but like I admire like his way of just like thinking and building things within the media world. Um, but yeah, I really Brian Chesky. I don't know. I just like loved like his just hustle and like focus on what he's building. And then I also just love like the intensity of people like Mark Zuckerberg. These very like traditional people.
Chesky and I used to go to the same gym
Oh really?
in SF.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
I think a founder that's like becoming like on my radar that like I really like is like Eric Lyman from Ramp.
Yeah.
I like really love kind of the way he thinks.
Do you know him?
I don't know him personally.
Okay. I would love to get him on the podcast because he's in New York, right?
He is in New York. Yeah. You probably could get him on. Yeah. I really admire him. I love what he's building. And I
was also Capital One, right?
He was at Capital. Yeah. Well, he sold Paribus to Capital One.
Okay.
So those are people who I admire from a founder standpoint. Like my dream is like to like build something that's like really substantial and like lives beyond me. And it's like, oh, I know that company. Like, how cool would it be like if the whole marketing universe knows Siftsy and they're like, yeah, we use it. Like, it's amazing. How cool. Like, I've already experienced that where like some people's like, I was just talking with Dr. Pepper and they were bringing up Siftsy like in the conversation. Like, that's amazing. We're not even in that room. Same with like Creator Economy NYC. Like, how can that become like, worldwide? So like, I want to build things that are like world class, that are really well known, and it's difficult and like it sucks you in, and it could be all you think about, and it can like certainly like damage relationships because it's like, where's your focus? It's like, yeah, it's on what I'm building, and also it's tough mentally because sometimes like I get really frustrated where I feel like I am not where I want things to be, where in reality to like someone else, they're like, dude, like, how are you doing what you're doing? And it's like, I'm pissed. I'm not where I want it to be. Like, why am I not selling? Why don't I have the systems in place? But like, from like building your own company, like, Beacon's been around for what, 5, 6 years?
6.5 almost.
Yeah. And it's like, it takes time to build systems and things like that. And so again, when I think back to like where we're at, it's like, okay, and I've only been full-time on these things for 6 months.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, no, but I've been working on it for 2 years. And it's like, no, it doesn't matter. You're still in the initial phases. A lot of SaaS companies might take, what is it, like 12 to 18 months before they even launch their product.
Right.
Where like Siftsy was already like built and moving. We've been iterating in real time. So it's like we're already ahead of the timeline. But just like personally, I just have these grand ambitions of like, I want this to be this thing. I want this to be like well known and known for a great reason. Not known like friend.com, but known, for a great reason.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Cooldown.
Let's do it.
Okay. So these are just some rapid fire questions. First one is like a personality testing we do at Beacons. So are you sun or moon?
What the hell does that mean?
Just pick one.
I'm
when anyone speaks.
moon.
Moon? Okay, I see that. Cat or dog?
Dog.
Okay, moon dog.
Actually, I'll go cat. I'm gonna go cat.
Moon cat?
Moon cat.
Okay, that might be the most rare of these.
Moon cat.
Yeah. What feels right about that?
I just like cats. I think they're chill.
Okay. Are you a nighttime person?
Yeah.
Or it's like morning person?
I'm a nighttime person. Okay.
Do you have a cat?
No, but I want a cat. My girlfriend does not want a cat bear.
All right. If you were forced to move away from New York, which it sounds like you would hate, where would you go? If you had to pick another city to live in.
If I was forced to move away from New York, where would I go?
Mm-hmm.
SF or LA probably would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite pizza place in New York?
Williamsburg Pizza or Brooklyn Bleecker Street Pizza. Okay.
I've never been to either of those.
They're great.
So I should check them out. What's one skill that you would love to master?
Time management.
Time management. Okay. Can you say a little bit more?
I just feel like
ADHD?
even if I take my ADHD medication, like I struggle with like staying, like if you're going to commit to a task, commit to a task. The thing is, I can commit to tasks that like I really want to commit to. And sometimes things that feel like would be the hardest. So I've been filming this like broadcast news thing on LinkedIn, and like I spent like 4 or 5 hours on Sunday scripting it, filming it, and then editing it. And like I was locked in the whole time. I didn't even check my phone once.
Yeah.
Right. I write my newsletter or like I'm redesigning it. I'm locked in, especially when I'm doing creative things. Like I love designing. I can be locked in. But when it comes to like admin stuff or like, oh, I got to build out a flow for sales or like I got to build out like cold outreach copy. Like I don't love doing that stuff. That's the type of things I don't want to hire for, but I know as a founder, I need to get good at.
Do you have an EA?
No.
Oh, you should get one.
What do you think the EA would help with?
Change your life.
Like
Everything.
Like flows and things like that?
Yeah.
Really?
You'll find out that they're better than you at like half of the things that you do.
Like if I told
At
them,
least in my experience.
if I told them like I want you to help me build out like a loops flow for software, like they could do that.
Potentially, yeah. But they could do a lot of the admin stuff that you seem to not be very good at.
Like, oh, I need you to follow up with XYZ person or something.
Yeah.
Can they write copy well, you think?
I think if you find the right person.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I'm sure you have a lot of small things.
I had a lot of small things. That's the thing. I've been talking to someone about hiring an EA from like Oceans or something. And I'm like, I just need to find like what they would do. I almost want to be like, I'm just going to like voice message you shit and figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do that. And I would recommend like finding one before you figure out what they can do, because a good one will tell you like, hey, I can do that.
Yeah. That's my biggest thing. I'm like, I don't even know what I need help with, but like,
you be figured out.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah.
If it's like $2K a month, like I'm like, I think it'd be so worth it.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, time management has always just been an issue with me, and like I wanted to exercise today. I just don't have time. I was coming to this, and like also I'm a night person, which has been really tough. So like I went to bed at like 1:32 last night. It's like I'm not waking. I can't wake up at 6. It just I literally physically cannot.
Yeah.
But then also comes back to like, well, you don't want to work out enough? It's like, yeah, you're right, probably not. But anyway, time management has always been an issue with me. Nonetheless, like I get shit done, but sporadically, and it's like, great, we ripped it. And sometimes I get in like a lock-in zone where I'm like, done. So
okay, one action item: try an EA for a month. Could be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You got a referral code?
No, but we've hired like 4 EAs at Beacon, so we can definitely try.
Okay, let's chat.
Okay, cool. That's all for today's episode of Always Peaking. Brett, thanks so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
It was really fun, and we might actually maybe do something that kind of like changes trajectory of both of our businesses
and of the creator economy in general, as a whole,
because world domination.
We're world domination.
Thank you all for watching and listening. I'm Neal. This is Always Peaking Podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Do we hug?
Yeah. If you want to hug, you can. Let's keep it recording.
Yeah. Let's hug. Okay.
Yeah, you can move
Okay.
the. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. And cut.